We are terrified of the silence. If you look at the architecture of your average day, it is likely a structure without windows. It is a solid wall of noise, task, stimulus, and reaction. From the moment your eyes open, the input begins. The alarm on your phone triggers a cascade of notifications, the news, the weather, the emails that arrived while you slept. You fill the commute with a podcast because the sound of your own thoughts is too boring. You fill your workday with meetings, not because they are necessary, but because they feel like work. You fill your evening with a screen, letting blue light wash over you until you pass out from exhaustion. We have convinced ourselves that an empty space is a wasted space. We believe that if we are not doing, we are failing. If we are not consuming, we are falling behind. But let me ask you a question. If you take a clay pot, what makes it useful? Is it the clay walls? Is it the beautiful glaze on the outside? Is it a strong base? Lao Tzu, the ancient philosopher, observed that we shape clay into a pot, but it is the emptiness inside that holds whatever we want. We hammer wood for a house, but it is the inner space that makes it livable. We work with being, but non-being is what we use. Your life is the clay walls. It is thick, decorated, and sturdy, but you have filled it inside with so much debris, so much furniture, and so much noise that the pot can no longer hold anything new. It cannot hold peace. It cannot hold creativity. It cannot hold joy. You are drowning, not because you don't have enough, but because you have no space left to breathe. Let us look at the diagnosis. Why does this heaviness follow you? The modern world suffers from a horror vacui, a fear of empty space. And this fear manifests in three distinct, painful ways in your daily life. First, look at your professional life. We have confused motion with progress. We have confused busyness with effectiveness. You sit at your desk, toggling between three monitors. You reply to an email within 30 seconds of receiving it. You attend meetings where nothing is decided, simply to prove you are in the loop. This is what I call lazy thinking. It is easy to be busy. It requires no courage to answer emails all day. It is difficult to do nothing. It is difficult to sit in a chair, stare at a wall, and actually think about a strategy. Because we fear the void, we fill it with low-value administrative trivia. We are building a wall of gravel because we are too afraid to carve a statue. Second, look at your relationships. Imagine sitting at a dinner table with a friend. There is a lull in the conversation. A silence stretches out for 5 seconds. What happens to your body? You feel a tightening in your chest. The silence feels heavy, awkward, almost judgmental. So, what do? You crack a joke, you bring up a meaningless topic, or worst of all, you pull out your phone to show them a video. You kill the silence. But intimacy lives in the silence. Connection happens when two people can sit in a room without speaking and feel perfectly safe. By rushing to fill the gap, you prevent the relationship from deepening. Third, look at your nights. You lie in bed. The room is dark. The house is quiet. But your mind is a roaring engine. It is replaying a conversation from 3 years ago. It is worrying about a deadline next week. Why? Because your brain is starving for processing time. Biologically, your brain has a system called the default mode network. This network activates when you are not focused on the outside world. It is responsible for consolidation, memory processing, and future planning. For our ancestors, this happened naturally. They walked for hours in silence. They stared into campfires. They watched the horizon. You do not give your brain this time. So your brain waits until your head hits a pillow to finally start filing away the day's data. You are not an insomniac. You are just mentally backlogged. There is a Japanese word for the solution to this suffocating noise. It is called ma. Roughly translated, ma means negative space or the gap, but it is not just empty. In the West, we view emptiness as a lack of something. In Japan, ma is viewed as a tangible entity. It is an active ingredient. Think of a traditional Japanese ink painting. You might see a single branch of a cherry blossom tree curving in from the corner, or a lone fisherman on a small boat. The rest of the paper, 60, maybe 70% of the canvas, is left completely blank. A Western artist might feel the urge to paint the sky blue, to add clouds, to paint the water, to add birds in the distance. They would want to get their money's worth out of the canvas. But the master of Ma knows that the blank white paper is not nothing. The blank space represents the vastness of the ocean. It represents the endless fog. By leaving the space empty, the single branch becomes infinitely more beautiful. The eye has nowhere else to go. The mind is allowed to rest on the essential because the non-essential has been stripped away. This concept applies to music as well. Imagine a pianist who plays every note as fast as possible, never lifting his hands from the keys. It would not be a song, it would be anxiety. Claude Debussy said, "Music is a space between the notes. It is the pause after a crescendo that makes your heart stop. It is the silence before the drop that builds the anticipation. Without the silence, the sound is just noise." Now, look at your life through the lens of Ma. Your life is a room cluttered with furniture. You have bought so many chairs, tables, lamps, and rugs that you can no longer walk from the door to the window. You keep trying to organize the furniture. You buy productivity apps to stack the chairs higher. You listen to gurus who tell you how to fit a small sofa in the corner. But the solution is not better organization. The solution is to remove the furniture. You need Ma. You need the gap. You need to value the time when you are doing absolutely nothing as highly as the time you are grinding, because it is in the gap that you figure out who you are. It is in the gap that the solution to that complex work problem finally appears. So, how do we build this negative space? How do we place this brick? I'm not going to ask you to meditate for an hour. I'm not going to ask you to go on a silent retreat. I want you to introduce a micro void into your day. Here's the action step. The 15-minute stare. At some point today, perhaps right after you finish this video, or perhaps on your lunch break, you are going to set a timer for 15 minutes. You are going to sit in a chair or on a park bench. You will leave your phone in another room or turn it completely off. You will have no book, no notebook, no music, no podcast. You are not going to meditate. You aren't focusing on your breath. You aren't chanting a mantra. You are just going to exist. Look at the light hitting the floor. Listen to the hum of the refrigerator. Watch the dust motes floating in the air. Here is what will happen. In the first 2 minutes, you will feel fine. By minute 4, you will feel an itch. Your hand will phantom reach for your pocket. Your brain will scream, "This is useless. We have emails to send. This is a waste of time." That voice is the addiction speaking. That is the fear of the void. Sit through it. Let the boredom wash over you like a cold wave. By minute 10, something shifts. The static clears. Your shoulders will drop 2 inches. The world slows down. You are creating Ma. You are creating the silence that gives the rest of your day its rhythm. Life is not measured by how much you can squeeze into it. A page covered in black ink is illegible. A life covered in activity is unlivable. Be the artist who is brave enough to leave the canvas blank. Be the musician who respects the silence. Stay unrushed.